Legends and myths are two of the most enduring forms of storytelling, shaping cultures, histories, and beliefs across generations. While they are often used interchangeably, they have distinct differences in their origins, purposes, and the way they evolve over time. However, the line between them is often blurred, and in many cases, a myth can become a legend, and a legend can take on mythic proportions. Understanding the fine line between the two helps us see how stories shape our perception of reality, history, and the unknown. A myth is a sacred or symbolic story that explains the origins of the world, natural phenomena, or the beliefs of a culture. Myths often involve gods, supernatural beings, and cosmic forces. They are not just stories. They are foundational narratives that give meaning to existence. Myths answer fundamental questions. Where did we come from? Why does the sun rise and set? What happens after death? They are deeply intertwined with religion, philosophy, and cultural identity. The Greek myths of Zeus and the Olympian gods, the Norse tales of Ragnarok, and the Hindu stories of Vishnu's incarnations are all examples of myths that explain the workings of the universe and the human condition. A legend, on the other hand, is a story rooted in historical reality but often embellished over time. Legends are not necessarily supernatural, though they may include fantastical elements. They are grounded in actual events, places, or people, but as they are passed down, details become exaggerated or altered. Unlike myths, which are often set in a distant, sacred past, legends usually take place in a more recognizable historical setting. Figures like King Arthur, Robin Hood, or El Cid were likely based on real people or events, but over centuries, their stories have grown into something larger than life. Legends serve as cultural touchstones, representing values like heroism, justice, or national identity. The fine line between myths and legends becomes clearer when we examine how stories evolve. A myth, over time, can transform into a legend if a culture begins to see it as part of history rather than divine truth. For example, some Greek myths, such as the tale of the Trojan War, began as religious or epic narratives but have been studied as having possible historical foundations. On the other hand, a legend can take on mythic qualities when the real historical figure at its core is overshadowed by supernatural or symbolic elements. The story of King Arthur, for example, may have begun with a historical war leader, but the addition of Excalibur, the Lady of the Lake, and Merlin transformed it into something far beyond a historical account. Another key difference is the way these stories function in society. Myths often serve as moral, religious, or cosmic explanations, while legends are more concerned with cultural identity and inspiration. Myths help people understand their place in the universe, while legends help them understand their place in history. Myths belong to the divine and the sacred. Legends belong to the heroic and the historical. However, myths and legends share one crucial similarity. Both are living stories. They are shaped by the people who tell them, evolving to fit the needs of different generations. A myth can gain historical grounding, and a legend can become a timeless myth. The fine line between them is drawn not by strict definitions, but by the way cultures choose to remember, reshape, and believe in these stories. In the end, whether a story is called a myth or a legend depends not just on its origins, but on how it is used. Is it a tale of gods shaping the world, or of mortals shaping history? Does it explain the mysteries of existence, or does it celebrate the deeds of those who came before? The truth is, myths and legends are two sides of the same coin. Both reflections of humanity's need to tell stories that give meaning to our past, present, and future.